Previously on Power Reviews. We'll be reviewing all 7 final episodes of Super Samurai.
You should obviously be putting more thought behind your analysis.
Fine. You know what? You review the next episode.
If you ever require any additional insights for your reviews, I might not be entirely against that.
And now, Database Rangers Power Reviews. Greetings, Ranger fans.
Salutations.
And welcome to Power Reviews. I thought we were going to...
No, we won't be doing that.
Alright then. Well, as part of our celebration of the last 2 episodes of Super Samurai...
And to keep Database from being too distracted by Megaforce.
That too, we've decided to team up and do joint reviews from here on out.
Before commencing our analysis, let us briefly summarize the events of the previous episode. Ranger Red Alpha has now returned from his ill-conceived, self-imposed exile. His sister, Ranger Red Prime, continues to lead the team. Decker has been destroyed, as has Dayu's Harmonium, which has released a physical manifestation of sadness that has revived Master Xandred.
Thus setting the stage for the penultimate episode of the season, and leading us into the conclusion of the first multi-year storyline since the end of the Zordon era. So let's see what happens next in the I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure what that was. I think we might be getting some new neighbors. Anywho, as I was saying, One moment, please. Okay, I think we're good. Where was I again?
So let's see.
Right. So let's see what happens next as the big face-off with Master Xandred finally begins in episode 19 of Power Rangers Super Samurai, The Ceiling Symbol. After a quick...
Previously on Power Rangers Super Samurai.
We cut straight to the opening credits, which have now replaced the defeated Decker with additional footage of Lauren, and then we return to where we left off.
Master Xandred taunts the 4 nearby Rangers as Ranger Gold and Ranger Red Prime continue their Zord battle, and Ranger Red Alpha remains inexplicably demorphed.
As Dayu begins to succumb to her injuries, Xandred thanks her for her powerfully sad song.
Although I'm not sure that I would consider a swirling black maelstrom of physically manifested emotion to be a song.
Realizing that she doesn't have much time left, Dayu expresses relief at finally becoming free of her sorrow, before collapsing into her master's arms.
I was never truly a Nylok. My heart remained human.
Go. Be with Decker if you like. But part of you will stay with me.
That was unsettling.
Now healed of his injuries through whatever that was, Xandred calls out the Red Ranger, and is surprised when Lauren answers.
Ha! What can a little girl like you do?
I take offense at that statement. There's nothing wrong with a diminutive stature.
Antonio saves her from Xandred's attack, and the others rally around her. Knowing that the ceiling symbol will take some time to cast, she orders the team to keep him busy, bestowing the black box to Kevin and the shark disc to Mike.
We'll be singing when we're winning. We'll be singing. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
Ineffective though their attacks may be, they do accomplish their intended goal, and Ranger Red Prime is finally able to cast the long-awaited ceiling symbol against Master Xandred. Does this mean their conflict is concluded?
I hope not. I don't think this cast can really carry the show without any villains. And sure enough, to the surprise of everyone not already aware of the episode's runtime, Xandred withstands the ceiling symbol and emerges from the flames, revealing a mysterious white patch over his chest.
This white patch, Dayu's human side, is what saved me.
An intriguing development.
He must have absorbed Dayu's body. He's not pure Nylok anymore.
Yes, we got that.
Her human half shielded Master Xandrid from the sealing power.
He's not even there. Who is he expositing to?
Let's just move on. In case you missed it, Dayu's human heart means that Xandrid can't be sealed away, and has even eliminated his need for Sanzu water.
He then counterattacks, striking down Ranger Red Prime and forcing a demorph.
With the rest of the team knocked out as well, it's up to the inexplicably still unmorphed Jaden to rescue them.
Symbol power, teleport!
I have to point out that teleportation is not nearly that simple.
Also, why is this our first time seeing this? With the Rangers gone, Xandrid returns to the Netherworld to plot his next move, crushing Dayu's pet furrywort underfoot. I know I haven't mentioned it all season, but that little thing was bizarrely adorable. Did you just sniffle?
I have no idea what you're talking about. The Rangers spend that night recovering from their defeat, especially Ranger Red Prime, who was particularly hurt in that battle, in more than one way.
I let everybody down, Jaden. You, the Rangers, and especially Dad.
Now that the sealing symbol has been rendered invalid, she returns leadership of the team to Jaden, refusing to take no for an answer this time.
So for her last act as leader, she calls a meeting of the Rangers together, once again proving her superiority by actually being diplomatic about the chain of command. But I will admit that her brother does have greater experience, so let's see what his brilliant new strategy is.
We're gonna take him out with brute force.
Really?
Ranger Red Alpha is able to justify this course of action by drawing their attention to the patch on Master Xandrid's chest. Acknowledging that the sealing symbol may have weakened him, they plan to focus their attack on Dayu's human side, and ultimately destroy him utilizing Ranger Red Prime's power with the specially made Shiva Fire Disc.
Is that spirit? I pray they come back.
Dude, they're sitting right next to you. On the Sanzu River, Xandrid and Octoroo prepare their final assault. And the music makes me wonder if these guys were the ones we were supposed to be rooting for this whole time.
This may be the best day ever!
Yay for the fall of humanity?
But first, they take a moment to highlight one of Octoroo's very few positive traits. His loyalty.
Of course, I will miss you, Dayu. Do you want to say something to honor her memory?
She served her purpose.
Ouch. Cold.
Indeed.
The next morning, we see a handful of nameless civilians cry out in horror as the entire city begins to glow red. If only there was a pair of civilian characters that we had taken 2 seasons to get to know, just to really drive home the emotional impact of the situation. But alas, such things are fevered pipe dreams.
At the Shiba House, their fluid cartography panel alerts them to the flooding of the Sanzu, and the Rangers deploy to fend off the impending invasion as Master Xandrid's ship finally emerges from the Netherworld.
Oh, it's an epic win for you!
For some reason, they designate the distant quarry as the best location for their defense of the city, and reassure each other with various sentimental platitudes.
Booyah.
Booyah, indeed.
As the Rangers charge the army of Moogers, bearing down on them, Master Xandrid decides to end their long rivalry, and jets his ship to the scene of the battle, which means that it's time to put Jaden's plan into action.
Ranger Red Alpha engages the Super Samurai mode, as Rangers pink, yellow, green, blue, and gold flank around him, and they charge as a single unit.
What follows is a pretty epic battle scene, as they swat aside countless Moogers, and even human-sized Spitfang.
It seems as though their plan will actually be effective, as they clear the way for Ranger Red Alpha to deliver the intended final finishing strike.
Unfortunately, since there's still 1 episode left, and Octoroo is unlikely to take over as main villain, although I do think that would be kind of awesome. Oh, I wonder if he'll be coming back for Megaforce.
Focus.
Right. Master Xandrid responds by pulling the sword from his chest and tossing him aside. As the Shiba Fire Disc shatters apart from its one-time only use, Xandrid unleashes the full fury of his attacks, forcing the Rangers to demorph and fall to the ground.
When they refuse to beg for their lives, the Master of the Nylox decides to see if they will beg for the life of Ranger Red Prime, and departs to find her.
To be continued.
And that's the end of our episode. So, what did we think of it? Well, we are seeing all the telltale signs of the impending finale. The return of Master Xandrid and the flooding of the Sanzu are two things the Rangers have been dreading the whole season, so it's no real surprise that we're seeing them here. And that can really be said about the whole episode. Though we do get some very well executed battles and a few semi-nice character moments, there's really not much of a feel of surprise or dramatic tension to build up that big finale.
Agreed. The Rangers rarely seem to treat the situation with the gravitas that it deserves, and their pensive mentor contributes absolutely nothing. Additionally, if they wanted to destroy Master Xandrid, he and the Moogers are in a relatively isolated location, and they do have the Zords at their disposal. Even if the attack isn't focused exclusively at his weak point, I'm fairly certain that being crushed by an extremely large object would be just as effective.
Good point. That would have been awesome.
It also doesn't help matters that they completely and utterly failed at both of their attempts at victory, further underscoring their incompetence.
Yeah, I think this episode would have been far better paced to have a cliffhanger ending if it had ended before that second showdown with Master Xandrid, leaving the success of Jaden's plan uncertain. Instead, by virtue of being in the penultimate episode, it was guaranteed to fail. Although I admit that the final battle was the highlight of the episode, leaving things off at the moment of their group charge would have generated far more suspense and anticipation for the finale.
From what I've gathered through my research, a finale is intended to be the culmination of the efforts of an entire season, and the penultimate episode should serve the purpose of setting the stage. This time must be utilized to emphasize why this conflict is so much more significant, and how it affects not only the Rangers, but also the general populace and the world at large.
So much more time could have been focused on actual character moments, both for the Rangers and for incidental or ancillary characters. Instead, we just get a few throwaway scenes with extras that are no more impactful than the typical monster introduction, and the Rangers remain in their insular little reality where nothing exists outside of their samurai mission, and there is no larger context.
However, I will concede that a few scenes, namely Master Xandrid's assimilation of Dayu and Ranger Red Prime's regret over her failure, were able to evoke something of the intended emotional response.
Overall, though, it's less that there are that many problems with this specific episode, and more that it has that very paint-by-numbers feel that's symptomatic of the season as a whole. However, it is helped by some impressive action sequences, and the occasional moments that do highlight the increased threat.
So make sure to join us next time when we'll be exploring how the season reaches its ultimate conclusion with the series finale of Power Rangers Super Samurai. Samurai forever.
Until then, farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you.